Now, Netflix is basically, uh, a company which really has the best engineers, right? It has extremely talented, highly paid talent. And there are many other companies, of course, like this. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to keep this interesting and really show you a Netflix dataset example here, right? That I can analyze. And I typically do this also in Power BI in a separate session. But here, I mean, the insights that I'm getting is honestly a bit better than what I do typically. So, because it does prediction also, which is not something Power BI does really well. So I would just upload a file, right? I have a Netflix file. I would just upload and let me open this. Let me open the file actually. All right. I have a few data sets. I will just upload Netflix, TV shows and movies. Or okay, it's yeah, uploading. All right. Can you see this? Now it has been uploaded. Netflix TV shows and movies. So I have data for TV shows and movies. So you have the index. I mean, this index column 0, 1, 2, 3 we can honestly drop. I mean, we can just drop the index column, right? Um, so what is it? So let's see. So table and plots. We have these two places, right? We can generate a plot using this plot section. Like we can select a type of plot. See, there are lots of interesting types of plots. We can just plot something over here, add overlay, like linear regression, moving average, and so on. Select X and Y axis, or even write a prompt to do that, right? But the idea is, let's see the data set. So we have ID, that is a unique ID of this movie or show. Then we have the title, right? Uh, Taxi Drivers. You would have probably seen some of these movies. There are about 5,300 movies in this data set. I'll tell you, yeah, all of this. And then we have type. Is it is a movie or is it a show or that? And then we have description, right? I don't know. I think this is description. Mentally unstable Vietnam War veteran, works as a taxi driver, so on and so forth. And then we have release year 1976. When was this movie released? Right? I hope you are able to see and understand that this is, let's say, more details about every movie that was released in the last how many years? 70 years that I show you. How many years are these? And then we have age certification. What is the age certification of this movie? If you see, there are a lot of null values in this age certification column, right? Null as in we don't have data for many movies. We don't have the age certification for many movies. Maybe it's a limitation of the data set, or it's maybe a limitation of it was never there. Like, let's say the movie was never given an age certification. And then we have runtime. What is the runtime of the movie in minutes? If you see, 113 minutes and so on. Then we have IMDb. What is IMDb? Can I tell you what is IMDb? IMDb is just a rating agency, because now you see this. I'll show you IMDb. This, sorry, this is IMDb. This essentially is. Yeah, so IMDb is a rating agency. If you see here, you have this yeah, rating and reviews and all of that. For every movie, you get ratings and reviews, and you also get a lot of more details, right, the top 10 movies and everything. So this really is tracking how movies and everything are performing. So let me go back and show you. We have IMDb score out of 10. What is the score? And then we also have IMDb votes, right? What is the number of votes this movie or show is getting? I hope you're able to follow. Just ask a question in the chat if you're not able to follow anything. I had added this last column, but I want to drop this. This was not required. I had added this for some, let's say, yeah, analysis. So drop the last column is what I will say. Score into words. Score into words. This is basically I just multiplied score and votes to get a more holistic picture. But I don't need this now. Right? I don't need all this. So what I'm doing is I just wrote this from drop the last column, score into votes. Right? I drop as in just remove the last column, delete the last column. That's basically what this is data cleaning. This data manipulation cleaning, right? If you see now, in the last in this data set, the last column has been dropped. IMDb votes, I mean the score into votes column has been dropped. Last column is IMDb votes, right? Uh, these last columns, I don't know why they got added now suddenly because this was an Excel file I just uploaded. So what I'll do is I'll simply, right, very simply ask it to handle missing values in the data set. Yeah, I mean, this is a job that takes 60% of the time of any data analyst typically. But here, what I'll do is I'll just write it here and you'll see that it is already, I mean, it will be done in a second, right? So it it handles outliers, it handles missing values, it handles errors, duplicates really, really well. So let me show you what it is doing. Let's see. So it is generating also Python code for each of these, right? For you to write this Python, obviously will take a lot of time. So what is it doing? It is, if some of you would understand Python, it is just filling the empty values, right? Null values with, let's say, mean in this case mode. Let's see what it is doing. It should give us some kind of a picture. Uh, I checked for, okay, let's see. But it didn't tell me what it did. It really did something. So now I don't have any missing values in these columns. If you see, I don't have any missing values, zero missing values in each of these columns. While if you remember for 8th certification, we had a lot of missing values, right? So let's see. I'll just ask what did you do to handle missing values, right? Just to understand, because I myself am a data analyst and I obviously understand what it is doing, right? That's why I'm saying it's more relevant for now. Any person can become a data analyst through such tools. But if you are a data analyst, it even helps more, right? Um, what did you do to handle missing values? Okay, what does it do? Okay, so it says uh, it just dropped the missing values in like it dropped the columns with all the missing values here. So IMDb score and IMDb votes, you see, after that we had the unnamed columns, right? Unnamed 1, 2, 3. That is, I mean, that was there, but I mean, I didn't get an answer to why or what exactly was done here. So what I'll do is I'll just go back here and I'll just change this prompt slightly, right? Handle missing values. What I'll do is I will first ask it to delete the empty columns, right? Delete the empty columns such that the unnamed values are handled first. So these unnamed columns, right? These are handled first. So I successfully removed the empty columns from the dataset. Here's the of the modified data frame. So it just returns the top of the data frame. All right. Now I will write that thing, handle missing values in this data set. Let's see. Let's see what it does. Okay. So what does it do? I have handled the missing values in the dataset by filling numerical columns with their mean. So numerical columns as in like we have the score, right? IMDb score and votes. So numerical columns have been filled wherever there was a null value here, wherever this was missing, we filled it with their mean, and categorical columns like description, type, right? Name of the movie, all of that with their mode. So whatever is the most common, they filled it with the mode, right? That's how they've done this. This table now has missing values addressed, ensuring that all entries are complete for further analysis. Now, this is a clean data set, right? What we've done is we've done data cleaning. So we've done first data import and then data cleaning and manipulation using Excel. Sorry, using, I mean, Julius AI. and we would have done this in Excel also normally. Now let's really move forward and see, create a new column that, because see, the idea is score and votes, right? I mean, okay, let me do this a bit differently. Which is the best movie in this data set? Right, best movie in the data set. Let's see. So as you can see, as you would want to know which is the best movie in this data set, I have just asked that same question. Let's see. The best movie in the data set based on the highest IMDb score is as follows. So it is Khwatir. What is this movie? I have not heard of this. Okay, it's no, it's actually a TV show, right? No, it did something a bit wrong here. It actually gave me a show here. So what I should do here is I should go ahead and modify this prompt in this data set, which is the best movie in the data set. Make sure the type is movie, right? Make sure the type is movie, essentially. Right? It's because I really need to know the best movie and not the best show. Quaker is a show, I believe. That's what I was able to see it there, right? All right, now perfect. So I have identified the best movie in the data set based on the highest IMDb score, filtering for entries where the type is movie. Perfect. Here are the details of the best movie. What we have here. So we have No Longer Kids. This is the best movie. I've not heard of this. And then we have IMDb score. But one second. IMDb votes are so low. If you see the IMDb votes, if you see in the data set, typically we have much more votes, right? 79, this is what? 795,000. So this is 7,95,000 votes, 5 lakh votes, 3 lakh votes, second vote, 4 lakh votes. But this is only 943 votes. I mean, this is not ideal, right? This is not acceptable. I cannot only go ahead with score. I mean, there's a movie in this data set I'm telling you, that is Chota Bheem. It has a 9.4 IMDb score, but only 5 votes. So how does that really, I mean, is that still the best movie because only 5 people voted for it? Not at all. So what I want to do is I want to ask it to, let's say, while giving the best movie, consider both score and votes, right? Because see, I want to really consider both. I want a weighted score, right? Let's see what kind of a weighted score it comes up with. How does it calculate, right? All of that. Let's try to understand how it did this. Super. Now we are talking, right? The movie Inception has emerged as the best movie in this data set with a weighted score of approximately 0.2. Perfect. So what is this? 8.8 is the IMDb score, and the votes are what? 2 million. Yeah, 2 million, 2.2 million votes, right? Or 22 lakh votes. Now, this is exactly what I need. This is basically what I need. Also, wow, it has really given me this, yeah, the formula for the weighted score. So the formula used for the weighted score is equal to IMDb score into I votes. So score into votes divided by total votes. Interesting. Yeah. Because now I consider both score and votes, and it tries to normalize that a bit by total votes. Now this is interesting. This is good. This is good information. So this is how it can really help. All this is again data manipulation. Let me now really move to data visualization, right? Uh, let's see. So what I can do here is I can create, let's say, a chart. I want to see how has the average performance of movies varied over the last 50, 70 years, right? So create a chart for showing the performance of movies over time. Yeah, create a chart for showing performance of movies over time. So over time, how have movies been performing and so on. That's what I'm doing, right? Um, Are movies, what do you think? Are movies degrading in quality? Are better movies getting created? So when we say better in terms of score and in terms of votes, let's see what it does. So first of all, it wrote a Python code. This is super relevant, extremely helpful, right? It created a new column, performance over time. This is not a Python session, but I still want to quickly show this. A new column, performance over time. And yeah, and then it plotted this using a PLT. PLT is matplotlib basically, right? Matplotlib is the library in Python. Okay, let's see. Wow. So, okay. Interesting. Now this is helpful, right? The line plot shows the trend of average IMDb scores across different release years. So the score is decreasing, if you notice. Yeah, so the trend is such that this is a decreasing trend. So it is this way. If you see, what is this? This is decreasing slightly. So movies are, it seems, on average, decreasing in quality. Quality as in average IMDb score is decreasing. Right? Okay, let's do something interesting now. Um, what I can do here is I want to understand I want to, let's say, understand how is age certification split? Like how many movies are belonging to different age certification categories. So what I'll do is create a pie chart for showing the distribution of movies by age certification. Right? Age certification. So how many movies now are rated, how many movies are, let's say, Universal TV, or let's say what else do we have? Like UA, R rated, right? All those categories. Yeah, lots of categories. So I created a pie chart to visualize the distribution of movies by age certification. This chart provides insights into how many movies fall under each age category. Very interesting. Let's see. Okay, wow. So we have NC-17, PG, PG-13R, and TVMA. TVMA is actually a show category. It's not a movie category. So what I can do is I can obviously refine this prompt to ensure that the type always remains movie, right, and not show. That's basically what I can do. Right? But let's see. This is the data visualization bit. Now, what is the next step? After you've cleaned data, you manipulate the data. After you've manipulated the data, you do some data analysis, do some visualization on top of the cleaned data. After the visualizations, that is basically exploratory data analysis, right? You've explored the data, right? You've done data analysis to explore data. That is what we've done here. We can even create pivot tables and so on. But what is the next step? Now, the next step is that you need to create a machine learning model. So what I would do is I would say based on this data, predict the average IMDb rating, right? IMDb rating uh, for the next 10 years, right? Now this is machine learning. This is prediction, right? Let's predict both average IMDb rating and votes for the next 10 years, right? Um, but IMDb rating is out of 10 and votes is out of like infinite. Votes can be anything, right? 10 million, 20 million. So what I can ask it to do is plot the rating on the primary y-axis and votes on the secondary y-axis. So plot the rating on the primary y-axis and so plot the predicted rating on the primary y-axis and the predicted votes on the secondary y-axis so that the axes are different and there's no issue of the scale as such. This is interesting. Like, this is a slightly more difficult prompt, and let's see if Julius is able to answer this question. Right. Um, so this is prediction. This is using, if you see here, sklearn. Sklearn is scikit-learn is library in Python used very, very extensively across the world, across all these Fortune 500 companies for prediction. Whoa, now this is really good. I've taken one day at least. I mean, I do a lot of data analytics and a lot of data machine learning. Now a bit less, previously even more. But I would have taken at least a day or at least, maybe a day to come up with this without AI. So what is it saying? Let's see. So the IMDb rating is actually falling down. The prediction is that it is, quality of movies is degrading. Also because you see there are so many movies these days, only few are really good, right? But versus previously, movies really had more substance. Probably, I'm just guessing. And then we have predicted votes. The number of votes is expected to increase. Average number of votes is expected to increase. I hope you're able to read this properly. So this tells me, because this is the CLI predicted votes, the votes is increasing, but the IMDb rating is decreasing on average. So this is 2032, right? So the chart illustrates that these trends in both IMDb ratings uh, illustrates the expected trends in both IMDb ratings and votes over the next decades. Next decade. Now this is extremely, extremely good, right? This is super, super good. Now, maybe just to top it off, yeah, end it here. What I now need to do is last step. So what have we done? We've again data collection. So let me also maybe write an Excel down, like, what is that essentially? Right? Left, I was teaching left join to some people a few days back. So let's just ignore that. So let's see. We have data um, collection. Right? We have data collection first. We import data, right? We try to get data from multiple sources and we collect data. That's also called, let's say, data fetching or data. We can even mine data. All that comes under the same picture. And even before that, we understand the problem statement. What is the problem statement that we are aiming to achieve, right? And then we try to clean the data, right? The next step is data cleaning. So we try to clean the data cleaning. And then after the data is clean, we try to create new columns, add a weighted score. You saw we added the weighted score column for IMDb votes and score. So that is the manipulation piece. Then we have data analysis to really understand um, how are the trends looking like, what are the insights. And to support data analysis, we also do data visualization. That's what I just did, yeah, right? I just created pie chart and so on and so forth. Now, the last step is after you've created the data visualization, after you've created a report, right? I need to do data storytelling. Now, what is storytelling? This is probably the most important step. And what you need to do here is you need to ensure that you tell a very coherent story. You read the data, you generate insights from the data, and you tell a story. Right? That's data storytelling. This is typical, let's say, a typical data analytics life cycle or data machine learning or data science life cycle. Data analytics life cycle. Now, where does machine learning fit in? So after I've done some visualization, right? It can even fit before, but after I've done some visualization, I understand the data better. And now, based on that, I can create a model. I can develop a model. So I write model development and then I deploy the model deployment. I basically put that into practice, right? Development. And one more step gets added here, data manipulation and pre-processing. Basically, just making sure that the data is ready for being used for the model. The model accepts data only in a particular format. The model cannot read directly any kind of data, right? So any model that we are creating here, we must ensure that the data is clean for this one, right? So pre-processing step really helps you directly then in the model creation process. So just to ensure that the model is created properly. Yeah, the model, all data is not digestible, consumable. There's a particular type of data. There's the data should be clean, it should be pre-processed. Yeah, for linear regression, it should have X and Y specifically properly. So all of that. So we have done all of this today. Right? Also, model development. Obviously, we won't deploy the model, but let's also do the last step, data storytelling. Let's see. Now, how do I tell this story? So what I can again do is I can ask Julius AI to come up with a few plots, a few more plots right? And generate a story for me, right? That's also what we can ask Julius to do for us. So I'll ask it to create a presentation with important charts and graphs, uh, generate insights for each chart, also write a clear and concise, concise story for communicating with stakeholders. Right? Because I typically, if I'm giving a presentation, I'm giving it to managers, to senior leaders, to the CEO, right, to the business team, to my manager, or so on. So that's basically what I need to do. I need to generate some insights. I need to do some data analysis, understand the data, understand the insights, and create a story. Right? So let's see. I've created a presentation that includes important charts and insights based on our analysis of the Netflix movies dataset. Now, the presentation consists of the following slides. So, the title slide introduces topic. Then we have these cuts, like we have these different data analysis stuff. Average IMDb score of movies over time. So, okay, we actually now it actually created a presentation as a PowerPoint file. So let's just look at the presentation. We don't really need to create even a presentation. So it is downloading. I'll just open this presentation and it is done. Okay, it's downloaded. Let's open this. I mean, actually went ahead and created a presentation. How cool is that? I was not expecting. Let's see. So I will have to switch to the presentation screen. Meanwhile, so the presentation is opening. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, this is power of AI, right? You don't even need to do anything. Let's see. Meanwhile, any questions, any doubts, please feel free to write in the chat. Um, I would at this point also like to reiterate that we have our data analytics job bootcamp, right? Which can really help you get to the other side basically, and help you crack the job roles and the responsible. I mean the data analytics space. You can really enter the space through leveraging this course. I can maybe even right here the I can, yeah, I've pasted here again more details about the job bootcamp. But essentially, the idea is that I can, through the job bootcamp, you can really um, go to the other side. You can really understand each and everything that is required for companies. You need to ensure that you're really practicing what is in vogue. You're really practicing what is being asked in the interviews, right? So people from the industry are teaching this course in this bootcamp, not anyone else. I mean, so you get those real insights from these people. Professors are not teaching these courses. People, I teach course, for example, other people from the industry are teaching the course. So it's really, hands-on, very practical, and you get a lot of real projects, like real world case studies you get to solve. And then obviously there's this added element of placement assistance, because we are a sister subsidiary of Naukri.com, like I mentioned. So that's basically a game changer that I've seen people being really able to get to what they want to achieve. You can just fill a form. I've shared the link in the chat if you are interested. I can maybe wait for 10 seconds for you to fill the form. But yeah, please do so if you feel that this is probably helpful for you. Okay. So this is, I hope you can see this. I mean, I can wait 10 seconds if you want. Just let me know if I can move on or if I should wait for. You can. It's probably 5 seconds. It just takes 5-10 seconds for you to fill the form. All right. Let's see. Now this basically is the presentation that I created. right? Netflix movies analysis, insights and trends. So it created the first one. You remember the chart shows the trend of average MDB score over the years. It indicates, one second, I just wrapped the text here. Oh, it's too, yeah, right. Okay. All right. Now let's see. So this chart shows the trend of average IMDb scores over the years. It indicates fluctuations in rating, suggesting varying audience preferences and the impact of significant releases. Makes sense. Got it. Then we have distribution of movies by age certification. This should be age certification. So, and then we have certification. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. It was already there. So we don't need that. One second. So what this pie chart does is this pie chart illustrates the distribution of movies across different age certifications. Um, all right, what else? It highlights the target audience for the content aimed at with a significant portion aimed at adult viewers. Now that's an interesting insight. What else? And then it predicted average IMDb rating and votes for the next 10 years, right? That's what we did towards the end. So it created already this presentation. We can always ask it to create more charts and graphs as per what it feels are more relevant, right? So that can always be done here. Okay. So that is the last bit, right? Data storytelling, where you really need to create these presentations and you need to tell a very complete kind of story. Now, what I can do now with AI again is that I can use the designer here to, make this more interesting, right? With the simple slide, see, this is already extremely better already. And then I can use the designer also for other slides. Yeah. I can use the designer, now for other slides as well. So designer, this is, let's say, for example, a cleaner picture of this thing. And then also here. Um, yes, I think this looks good. And we can always, change, right? So we can do a lot of things. Again, the idea here is that through data analysis, through AI, sorry, we are able to analyze the data. We are able to even generate insights well through AI. And we can add, of course, a lot of slides, but I can switch back to Julius and I can continue. Let's say asking a few things, I can, ask you to generate more insights. And I can also ask you to predict some things. So you can do each and every step in this data analytics life cycle. So we've understood the data, we've collected data, cleaned data, manipulated, we've analyzed data, we've created data visualization. We've also developed a model to predict, right, the average IMDb rating and votes for the next sales, and we've also done data storytelling and much more. Right, honestly, it can create more useful charts and graphs. Like I said, you can also, you know, use this. You can also share this with anyone, like the entire chat, and they continue. You can even make the thread public, and yeah, basically a bunch of things. Right? All right. Now, for the last 5 minutes, I want to switch to a different tool altogether and talk about very quickly how you can generate such data. It's ChatGPT, basically. You can generate data through ChatGPT. So let me just go to ChatGPT and let's see. Yeah, let's see. Now, what we can do here is we want to create a data set. Now, that's the last bit that we didn't actually cover. So we collected data, we just imported data. We didn't really collect or create data, right? Honestly, we just imported data. So this one is still pending, let's say. This we do through ChatGPT, you can probably do through Julius, but I will do this through ChatGPT. So what I'm saying is here, I want to create a data set. Now the idea here is that I want to understand Zomato orders, right? Or Swiggy orders, let's say food delivery. I want to create a data set for Zomato orders. I hope everyone is aware of Zomato, Swiggy. These are food delivery companies. Now, what I want is I want to create these columns, like everything about the order. So, like order ID, what was the order, what were the dishes in the order, what was the size of the order, what was the amount of the order, which restaurant was it ordered from, what was the cuisine, like all of that. So, let me ask it this way. What do you think should be a part of a data set uh, around Zomato orders? Which columns uh, would be there, right? Very random. And then I use a tool for really, checking how good the prompt is. This is actually a plugin I have. So it shows me a score of 4 by, if you see this, shows me a score of 4 by 10, provides some clarity but lacks sufficient detail for accuracy. So what I'll do is I'll improve the prompt. Right? This is an extension. What is the name of the extension? I forgot. Teleprompt AI. So okay. So what it does is it improved the prompt for me. Now the prompt score has gone from 4 out of 10 to 9 out of 10, if you see. So what did it do? Identify the essential components of a data set focused on Zomato orders, especially the columns that should be included. Consider various aspects of Zomato orders such as customer details, order specifics, restaurant information, and delivery metrics. Wow, I mean, I couldn't have written it better myself, right? This is actually a super better. Okay, one second, I did actually. So number of steps. Can we see steps also output format, also examples? I have taken maybe 30 minutes just to write this prompt. So this is super relevant. So let's see. Here is a structured list of recommended columns for a Zomato's orders dataset. If customer data, we have order data, and we have restaurant data. We also have delivery data, feedback and ratings. Oh no, it seems like I got the entire schema for Zomato company, like all the databases. So I get a lot of very useful information. But what I just want to do here is I want to create a data set from order data, right? Generate about 1,000 rows and include all the columns mentioned in the order data section above. Yeah, I didn't even improve on this time because I think we are already very close to what we want to achieve, right? Would you like, okay, it already asked me, in fact, would you like this into structure into a downloadable schema or mock data set? I would have simply written yes, yeah, and then I would have gotten the answer. But anyways, I don't need all these operational feedback, delivery, even restaurant data. I don't need. I just need order data. I need orders data. So order status, type of the order, so delivery, takeaway, dine-in. What are the food items, comma separated? What is the total amount? What is the discount I'm getting? And what is the coupon code used, payment method, tip amount, special instructions. If there's a cancellation that has happened, then cancellation reason. Okay, all right, we are done. So I will now download the order data set. I think it is done. Right, so again, we have now covered this step, right? This is the first step. So everything in the entire data analytics and data science life cycle you can do. And Fortune companies, trust me, are using this already, right, to do this. Oh, this is super powerful. We have already, I mean, could you have generated this yourself? I don't think so, right? And 1,000 rows, I could have probably written 2,000 or 10,000. I don't know what's the limit of ChatGPT. But yeah, so we have order date time. This is actually date and time, a timestamp basically. The time is in 24-hour format, as you can see. And we have date that is for this year, I could have mentioned year also, like here, but we have the order date time. Let's see the variation here. So we have data from, okay, we have data for all the years, right? January, February, March, April, May. So we have data, very latest data also. Of course, dummy data. This won't be real Zomato data. Why would they share that with us? We have order status, we have in progress, cancelled, and completed, right? We have order type, which is takeaway, delivery, and dine-in. Then we have food items. This is probably the most interesting. Sushi, salad, okay, then another sushi, pizza, burger, and so tacos and so on, right? Biryani. Wow, this is super. So we have then the total amount. What was the total amount spent on this order? So there are, cheaper orders and then there are more expensive orders. Let's see. We also have discount applied. What was the amount of the discount that was applied? The coupon code that was applied to get a discount, right here, right? And then we have, for some cases, no coupon code was required apparently. And then we have payment method, card, cash on delivery, UPI card, again, all of this. And then we have tip amount. What is the tip if we gave a tip? These tips are a bit, higher because I don't think people give a lot of tips typically. And then we have, and we can always change that, right? We can ask ChatGPT to change that. Then we have special instructions, which is basically, something window cart, win. I'm not sure what is this, but I have, so this is a bit, this doesn't seem really sharp, the special instructions, but we anyways don't need it, so we'll just delete that anyways from here, right? But we want to start to be super specific. Now this is interesting. Cancellation reason. This is helpful. Ordered by mistake, changed mind, and delay in preparation, and so on. So very sharp, realistic answers, realistic data set, 1,000 rows. That's what Gemini, ChatGPT, all these tools can now do for you. And after you've done this, you can start with again the data analytics cycle in tools like Julius AI. All right. That is basically, how we were able to complete data analytics lifecycle using AI tools for Fortune, exactly how Fortune 500 would do this. These top companies and startups are already leveraging some of these capabilities and saving maybe, some time and effort. Perfect. Questions. Now, I don't see many questions here. Questions around the program, I'll just be able to answer in a bit. Yeah, I'll invite an expert from the team. But anything else from what we've done today or from the analysis today here, let me know. Nijantan, this particular question, I mean, you can ask separately. You can, this is a specific data set. I'll have to look at the data set. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. I can drop my LinkedIn over here and I can help you. Yeah, just maybe if you want to experts, right? I shared the form. That's where you can do this. Okay. What else? Any other questions? Anything else? If you're posting on LinkedIn, please tag me. I shared my link here in the chat. Again, the idea is you are typically able to complete the data analysis using an AI tool, a process that would otherwise have taken much more effort and time to do this in Excel and Power BI, and obviously even more time. So that's basically, what this helps you achieve. And if you can add this as a project in your resume also. If you're doing this yourself, create a data set yourself and do this analysis, and you should be able to, then portray this. You should be able to sell this project to the world through, let's say, LinkedIn. Put that in your resume. If you're putting it on LinkedIn, recruiters, gets recruiter attention also, which is again a very, very powerful thing to do from a very simple use of AI. If you're posting this on LinkedIn, do tag me. I typically amplify the post and also recruiters in my network may also get to see that, which may help you eventually. So okay, perfect. So this is very interesting. I don't see any other questions. I believe there would be some questions here on the job bootcamp. So I'll quickly call in Pinku Pandey from our program experts team, Coding Ninjas program experts team, to talk about how this can really help you achieve your goals. And you can maybe, other questions that are probably not answered yet, they will also be answered. Over to you then. Uh,
Okay. So thank you so much, Ashwin, for such informative session. So as we are getting questions around the job bootcamp, for that, let me introduce our program manager, Mr. Pinku Pandey. He will take another 10 to 12 minutes explaining about each and everything around the bootcamp. So once again, thank you so much, Ashwin.
Hi guys, my name is Pinku Pandey. I'm working as a senior program manager in Coding Ninja. So I'll be taking care from here the session. I'll be carry forward the session, and thank you our host for taking this informative session. So before going ahead, let me do one thing. Let me share my screen and showcase you how Coding Ninja Job Bootcamp will be helpful for you to do a transition to become a good data analyst, to get into your first job as a data analyst, or transition your domain as a data analyst. I'm sharing my screen. Okay. So before explaining about the data analytics of the job bootcamp, let me explain you about Coding Ninjas. So basically, Coding Ninjas, we are providing the services from last around 8 years, right? So we are in this Indian market for the learning, preparation, placement. This thing from last 8 years, we have a strong alumni base of 1.5 lakh plus, and with the 1400 alumni who is working with Mang organization. And if I explain you about the unicorn, so we are having around 103 India is having around 116 unicorns, out of which 103 unicorns is having our alumni who are working over there. So if you tell about the job bootcamp impact, so we have around 128% average salary hike. The learner who have joined up with our bootcamp completed the learning journey, then they got a placement. Around the average hike is around 128%. With the highest CTC of 36 LPA. Right, some learner asking what is the placement track record. So our placement track record of job bootcamp is 95% plus, and the learners who have joined up with us and got the placement, out of them 68% learners got a 2x hike from their current CTC. If I explain about the job bootcamp, what are the offerings that we are giving to you? Right. So here in the job bootcamp, it's a 6 month live classes journey. Here we are providing the majorly four tools. That is, we are starting with the introduction to data analytics, then data analytics with Excel, then data analytics with Power BI, and then data analytics with SQL, going forward with the Python, alongside statistics and the hypothesis testing. Then the EDA part and the machine learning and generative AI will be there for you as an optional. These are the tools that we are providing. After that, because after completing every tool, as the mentor told you, you have to have a great resumes, and on that resume you have to have a great project. So after completing every tool, you will get minimum one or two projects from here, just like National Air Quality, Pro Kabaddi League, Indian CPI, inflation, IT department with Power BI dashboard, retail store, e-com business, COVID-19, US healthcare dataset, as well as the credit risk modeling. This is the project that you will get and the real life case studies you will get. After this Coding Ninja Job Bootcamp content of data analytics is infused with the AI, because AI is the future, right? This content is infused with generative AI, with the Excel, Power BI, SQL, and Python. All the things will be there for you. Okay. After this, some learners are asking what is the total duration of this bootcamp. So the bootcamp duration is for 6 month live learning journey will be there for you, right? If I explain to the learning mode, as I told you, it's a live learning journey. It will be weekly 3 days classes will be there, right? Either it will be on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, right? So the 2 hours every day, the class time would be 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. alternate days, right? And while watching the classes, if you are getting any kind of doubt, you can ask your doubt over the class. Or let's suppose if you have missed any class or you want to rewatch the class, you will get the recording in the next day, of the entire live class. And while watching that live class, if you are getting any kind of doubt, we have TA support available from morning 10 o'clock till in the midnight 12 o'clock, one-on-one, weekly 7 days, 365 days in a year. Right, as I told you, the timing would be morning 10 till in the midnight 12, and this doubt support will be there for you starting with the chat. If his chat is not sufficient, they will give you the option through audio call, or then you can start your screen sharing. TA will get the access and clear your doubts. After that, for mentoring yourself, right, how you are learning, are you learning properly or not, if you are missing any classes, for that we are having a you'll get a relationship manager who will be there for you to support you throughout the program, helping with the queries, right, connecting with the trainers, experts, as well as tracking your progress, weekly assignments and regular tests. And even they will provide guidance to ensure you are achieving your career goal. This is the teaching part. Then, if I tell you, because in the initial, as I told you, it's a job boot camp. Job boot camp, it does not mean only learning, it's a learning, preparation, and placement. So, before going for the placement, we'll prepare you to go for the placement. For the preparation, we are starting, we are giving you the one-on-one mock interviews in terms of the technical rounds. Then the soft skill training. Some people might have the communication gap, so for that technical soft skill training will be there. Then the resume review, because nowadays resume plays major role. You have to have a great resume. For that, resume building training will be there. Then for every project, you will get the project mentorship, project guidance will be there, and the interview preparation will be there for you. Okay. And then, as I told you, it's a placement assistance program. So if I tell you about the placement assistance, so we have 1,200 plus hiring organization who are hiring from us, right? We are having around 800 plus opening every month. Alongside this, we have, as I told you earlier, we have around 1.5 lakh alumni base. You will get the alumni referrals as well as the industry referrals. And if I tell you about the monthly job opportunities, we have 300 plus monthly job opportunities in every month. Someone is asking what is the fees structure. Before going for the fees structure, let me tell you about our impact of Coding Ninjas Job Bootcamp. So right now we are having around 323 alumni who are working with Microsoft. If I tell you about Google, so we have 418 alumni who are working with Google. Alongside, we are having 377 alumni who are working with Amazon. And you can be the next. If you are learning properly, if you are getting the certification done, if you are preparing well, you can get a job in these companies very easily. Someone is asking what is the fees structure, right? Again, before going for the fees structure, let me tell you some alumni details. So we have alumni like Utkarsh got a placement in right. Then Divyanshu Khandelwal got a placement in Zest. Srinivas got a placement in Zindal Steel. Kashish Arora got a placement in Equity. So the fees structure, many of you are asking about the fees structure. So the original course fees structure, if you check over the website, that come down to 1.5 lakh for learning, preparation, and placement. Stay with it. There is certain scholarship we are offering to you. So the learners, the candidate who want to get the maximum scholarship, you can drop off your number over the chat or Q&A to avail that. If I tell you about the scholarship, so the scholarship fees structure is only and only 1,25,000. You can get a flat 25,000 scholarship on the job bootcamp of data analytics. If you want to get the maximum scholarship, if you want to discuss about your career roadmap to a tech professionals, right? You can do one thing. You can drop off your number over the chat or Q&A to get that, because if you miss the scholarship, you might have to take this bootcamp in original course fees structure. And guys, waiting for your numbers, waiting for your questions over the chat or Q&A, right? And this 1,25,000, you don't have to pay it in one time. We have an easy EMI option. So initially, to get enrolled with us, you just need to pay 5,000 to book your seat, and this 5,000 you can pay through UPI, credit card, or the net banking, and rest 1,20,000. You can go ahead with our NBFC partner. We have our finance partner. Through that, you can go for 3, 6, 9, 12 months of no cost EMI. Or else you can go forward with the standard EMIs for 18, 24, 30, and 36, but there will be certain interest will be charged. And those guys who are using credit card, you can go forward with the credit card no cost EMI of 12 months. And after this, I'll start the Q&A round. Those guys who are having any doubt, just raise your hand, drop off your question over the chat or Q&A. I will pick it up and I will clear it out. And those guys who want to get the maximum scholarship, Do drop off your number over the chat or Q&A to get that, because if you miss the scholarship, you might have to take this boot camp in original course fee structure. Waiting for doubts and waiting for questions alongside waiting for numbers, guys. If anyone is having any other doubts, I'll start the Q&A round in next few minutes. Before that, those guys who want to get the maximum off, those guys who want to get the scholarship, do drop off your number over the chat or Q&A. And those who have any doubts, just raise your hand, drop off your question over the chat or Q&A. I will pick it up and I will clear it out. Waiting for doubts, waiting for questions. Any doubts, anyone, guys? Uh, anyone having any doubts? Bhagyashree, Pankaj, Gaurav, Rashmi Bhaumik, Sudha, Nisha Arun, then Itika, Dinesh, Rakesh, Divya, Nitika Chadda, Sanjay, Jenitha, Monica, Rishika, Yoshita Kaushik, Nidhi, Ili. Any doubts? Anyone, guys? So, Gaurav, if you don't have any doubt, if you want to enroll up with us, do share up your number over the chat or Q&A to get the maximum scholarship. Okay, so Gaurav, if you want to enroll with us, get the maximum scholarship, do drop off. Okay, Nandini, if you have any doubt, just raise your hand, or if you want to enroll up with us, do share up your number over the chat or Q&A. Janita Nishal, I have given you the option to unmute. You can unmute yourself and ask your doubt if you have any. Any doubts? Anyone, guys? Yeah, hi. Nandini, give me 1 minute. I have given you the option to unmute. If you have any doubt, Nandini, you can unmute yourself and ask your doubt if you have any. And those guys who want to get the maximum scholarship, do drop off your number. Nandini, your voice is not coming. Can you kindly mute and unmute once again? Can you please try to unmute once again, Nandini? Or you can, I cannot get your voice. So if you want, you can drop off your question over the chat or Q&A. Nandini, you are on mute. Can you please unmute yourself? So then if you want to know more, want to get the maximum scholarship, do drop off your number over the chat or Q&A. I can see many of the learners have shared up the number. Thank you for sharing up your number to get the maximum scholarship. What you will get, you get a call back from one of our program experts. Kindly discuss with them once, right? And then if you're eligible, then definitely they will offer you up to 25,000 scholarship over and above 1,50,000. So the fees will come down to 1,25,000, where you have to pay 5,000 as a registration. Rest fee you can go ahead with the EMI setup. So over my intermediate means come again. So which year you have completed your graduation? Nandini, can you please do top of this answer over the chat? Have you completed your graduation or you are in your 12th? Any doubts? Anyone, guys? I will go jobs. So, Nandini, do one thing. You can drop off your number. I'll align a callback by one of our program expert. अब अपना नंबर ड्रॉप ऑफ कर सकते हैं हम वन ऑफ आवर प्रोग्राम मैनेजर से कॉल बैक अलाइन करवा देते हैं I'm in Telugu. Okay, I'll align a call back by Telugu counselor only. Do drop off your number. Any other doubts? Anyone? Amit, Nidhi, Yoshita, Rishika, Sanjay, Nikita, Divya, Rakesh, Dinesh, Apurva, Nisha Arun, Sudha, Gaurav Kumar, Bayagiri Gautami. So anyone is having any other doubts? So no further doubts, so no worries, guys. Thank you for joining this wonderful masterclass. Those who have shared their number, be with your phone, you'll receive a call shortly from one of our program experts. Kindly get in touch to get the maximum scholarship. Thank you, Gaurav, for joining the masterclass. If you want to know more about coding ninjas, do drop off your number with the chat or Q&A. So thank you, guys. Thank you for joining, and have a great day ahead.